Hi everyone. Here on the channel, we try to keep things useful, and most of the time that centers around a project that we're working on. This is the Project Snowball here, and that is what we got this guy for. So today I wanted to do an initial review of the Tru-Cool Max. This is a 47391. The part number again, 47391. That comes without the cold weather bypass. You just take the one off the end of it, a 4739. That would be with the cold weather bypass included in this package, in case you're looking at picking one up. We're trying to solve a problem on, and you can see in the background that we've already been hard at work. So we'll send that out as a different video because it's a very different problem that we're trying to solve, very specific to this, and I want to keep this on track and keep it short. So this Tru-Cool Max cooler has about a 45,000 BTU rating here. It has, and that's for a max of a GVW of 40,000 pounds. The core size is about 8.5 by 22 by 1.25 with 13 plates. You can see this is the biggest cooler that they have listed, and it comes with a 3/8 inverted flare hex. Okay, we've been looking at a lot of different coolers, and we're probably going to have to wind up trying a couple different coolers till we get something that works correctly for our application here. But anybody else that's out there looking for coolers knows you can pour through a lot of them, and it's kind of hard to tell what they look like, how they feel, how thick the core is. I mean, they give you dimensions, but it doesn't really translate through to real-world application, and that's what we're hoping to provide here real quick for you. So I went ahead and pulled it out of the box. It's just going to slide right out of the box. It has a cardboard kind of a tray that it goes on. So the first thing when you pull it out of the box that you're going to see is you're going to notice that it has some tabs. These tabs are the mounting tabs for the Tru-Cool. They are going to be tucked right through this cardboard here. You're going to have a bag of fittings that will come on here. With that bag of fittings will also be some plate, some strapping that you can use to go ahead and mount this thing up. It'll have some sheet metal screws. You can kind of see them back in there, as well as some 1/4-inch hardware. It'll have 4 hose clamps, and it will have 3 different sets of inverted 3/8 inverted flare fittings. This is what I wanted to show you. The 3/8 inverted flare fitting is almost the size of it's kind of in between a 10 AN and an 8 AN, but the center of these are not machined out. You'll notice that is a very, very small hole in there. So if you're looking for a cooler with lots of flow, maybe tune into our video that we've got going on for our application to see whether or not this guy's going to work, because we're going to be making some modifications and trying some things and then towing with it and seeing whether or not it can keep up. So you got lock washers, nuts, 1/4-inch bolts, and some other stuff in there. Let's keep moving. And that's the largest, just to let you know. There is one that has even less in ID on the fitting. It has instructions, which most of the time nobody pays attention to. It also has some hose that is sent with it. It's just 3/8 hose. With the instructions here, I did just want to say it's a good reminder to all of us. Number 6 on the back here, it just says, check your connections after the first week of operation. These things, especially if you're using hose, they get warm, it gets soft, and you might have something loosen up on you. That's no fun. Okay, so let's dive right into the cooler here. I've already pulled out one of the plugs on this side. This is the 3/8 inverted flare. That hole that you see inside there is not quite 3/8. It's a little larger than 1/4-inch. You can see the cone to the inverted flare, and that 3/8 NPT type fitting fits right in there. Now, just so you know, this is not tapered. That 3/8 inverted flare does not have a taper to it, and so you cannot just go ahead and plug a 3/8 NPT fitting in here and be on your way. It only gets about a thread and a half in there. Stands to reason, it's not an NPT thread. It's the same thread pitch, but it doesn't have the taper to it. On the mounting, for the mounting plates here, these are just smaller than 1/4 inch. That one is right at 1/4 inch. We wanted to use the outside holes, so we tapped the bar stock that we were using and drilled these out to 1/4 inch so that we could have the most stability possible. Coming back over here, we have the, our cork, a row count on there. Even though this is delicate, this guy was actually damaged in shipping and we're getting ready to return him, which is why we have the other one already in and in place. The actual construction, like of the tank and the neck, we never felt like this guy was going to break off on us. It's got a good solid hex head to it. You can get a crescent wrench on there, or a normal wrench, and you don't feel like this thing is going to snap off in your hands. And with that, they gave the thickness of the tube here that's going to the tanks. It's actually fairly thick in there, so it gives it a nice rigidity to that when you're tightening your fittings up. I did want to show real quickly here. They have done a fairly good job. Let's see if we can see. You can kind of see they're like micro fins inside of there. I'm not a cooler engineer, so I have no idea, but I would assume that helps kind of tumble the air, and it probably sucks more of the heat away off of your fluids in here. It's probably a better heat transfer. Yes, you can see where it was damaged there in shipping, which leads me, we'll get to that very last. So all in all, it's a pretty good cooler. It's got about 8.5 inches on the main cooler, and I would say those mounting tabs stick up about an inch on either side. So you're looking at about 10.5, 11 inches of overall height, and then 22 on the width. So for my last piece of this review, I'm just going to say, I am not knocking the construction of this. I like the construction of the cooler. I don't love how small the ports are. It was much too small from the factory, and I understand that some things you get the flow too high and then you don't have any cooling. We understand all that. Don't send me hate mail or yell at me and everything. We understand that there's a fine balance, but for what we're doing, we're using full 1/2 inch lines coming into here from the factory, and we've replaced those, but we're also running 1/2 inch lines. So if you're in a situation, please pay attention to the fact that there would be some restrictions going into this cooler, especially using the fittings that they've provided. But that's only one of the tips here that I want to give you at the end, and that the other one is this guy came damaged. The outside box, as you kind of saw there when we were doing the first part of this review, it was basically in mint condition. So even though the construction is fairly sturdy, you can see what can happen, and the box won't even be shredded. So my recommendation is, if you do pick up one of these, please open the box up, check it out, and then if you're going to set it on a shelf somewhere, at least you'll know that it's okay. Don't get yourself in a situation where you're like, hey, I'm going to pick this up now because I've got a project in a month or in 6 months, and I want to have this, this part ready to go. That's great. We try to do that a lot, but I think we waited a day, and I wish we hadn't. So do yourself a favor, open this box up right away as soon as it comes in, and go ahead and video record yourself opening the box, just to save you any potential headaches. Our people that we dealt with, and we'll go ahead and post up a link, they were incredible. We needed this thing right away. So as soon as we opened up and saw that there was an issue, I wrote them a message, and they overnighted us another one. And then they sent us a UPS return label for this guy. So please do yourself a favor. Use somebody that you can trust their customer service like we did. The people off of eBay, they had great reviews, and we'll go ahead and post a link up to them, and great prices. They were the best price out there. But use somebody that's going to take care of you and take care of, getting proof right as you're opening the box, so that there's never any question of whether it came damaged or whether you dropped it on your porch or something like that after you opened it up. So hopefully that's helpful. If I missed anything, please don't hesitate, to leave a positive, constructive, like, hey, can you get a shot of this for me? And we'll try to do our best to do that, or answer any questions you might have. If you found this useful, please go ahead and subscribe, sign up to the channel for more updates, more information, more crazy projects, and trying to solve random sauce questions, because that's a lot of what we wind up doing, is fabricating stuff out of nothing and then trying to get a superior resolution to some kind of crazy problems. Anyway, we hope that this has been helpful, and we will see you on the next video.